In this series, we are looking at the governing body of the Jehovah's Witnesses' darkest secret that they've hidden from their members. A secret so dark that if exposed could lead to the collapse of the Watchtower Society. And they've implemented strategies to actually hide this secret in plain sight. In the first episode, we looked at how they've used the information lockdown to hide this secret in plain sight. In episode 2, we looked at how they've developed a sophisticated and perfect prison, the prison of the mind, to ensure that members don't go out of that prison to discover this dark secret hidden in plain sight. This is Tell Me Dr. K, a channel on which we discuss matters of theological nature, no matter how difficult, complex, uncomfortable, or politically incorrect the topic might be. Because on Dr. K, no question, no topic is off limit. In today's video, we are going to discuss how the Watchtower Society profits by keeping its members in financial bondage. Buckle up, because it's going to be a rough ride. Picture this: a religion that sits on billions in real estate and investment, while its members struggle to pay rent, take children to school, or even afford insurance. This is not a contradiction. It's done by design. Today we are exposing how the Watchtower Society systematically keeps its members poor, exhausted, and financially dependent. The first rule of financial control: limit education. While they never directly say don't go to college, Watchtower publications and videos are full of cautionary tales, discouraging members, particularly the young members, from pursuing higher education. Let's sample some of these clips and tales.
Back in 2005, the faithful slave provided counsel regarding higher education in the October 1st, 2005 issue of the Watchtower, pages 26 through 31. The article was entitled, "Parents, What Future Do You Want for Your Children?" The cover of the very next issue, October 15th, 2005, asked the question, "What is the best education?" You may have noticed that we've not published that thorough of a discussion on the subject since that time. Why is that? Has the governing body changed its position regarding the pursuit of higher secular education? No. We feel that all of the cautions that we have addressed in the past are still valid. It is the potential for spiritual harm that has moved us to provide the cautions we have shared in the past. Having said that, it does not change the fact that all too often our young people have met with spiritual disaster, especially after leaving home and living on a university campus.
Do you remember that 18-year-old young brother who is trying to decide which path to take? Well, that was me some years ago. I'm so glad that with the help of Jehovah and my parents and other mature friends in the congregation, I made the decision, just like so many other brothers and sisters around the world, to turn down that scholarship, to give up university, and go directly into the full-time service.
Personally, I am so thankful to Jehovah that positive peer pressure was put on me to enter the pioneer ministry right out of high school. What a blessing and a protection it was to enter the regular pioneer work at age 17 and to be able to go to Bethel at 18. Even though there was considerable worldly pressure put on me to pursue university education, I am so happy that with Jehovah's help, I decided to build my future with Jehovah.
If you are enjoying this video, kindly like, subscribe, and smash the notice bell so that when I upload the next episode, you'll receive a notification and you'll not miss a single episode. They show young sisters losing faith for going to college. Young sister stop spiritual activities because she's so busy studying. A brother's education that leads him away from the faith. The March 2025 broadcasting is a perfect example of this. A discussion about Baruch, how he was pursuing his own agenda. It is entitled, Do Great Things for Jehovah, meaning for the organization.
You parents must also make personal decisions about secular education for your children. Naturally, you want them to get a good education, but you have to think carefully about potential dangers. You younger Christians approaching adulthood must make decisions involving education and employment. There may be many choices, but which ones will help you live up to your dedication to Jehovah? One sister said this, "As a baptized witness, I had read and heard about the dangers of pursuing university education, but I dismissed such warnings. I thought that counsel did not apply to me." Well, our sister made a personal choice in the matter, but was it a wise one? She continues, "Studying for my courses took so much time and effort that I was too busy to linger in prayer to Jehovah the way I used to, too exhausted to enjoy Bible discussions with others, and too tired to prepare well for the meetings. Thankfully, once I realized that being immersed in higher education was damaging my relationship with Jehovah, I knew I had to stop, and I did."
The results are staggering. Only 12% of Jehovah's Witnesses have a university degree in the US. 12%. The lowest rate for any religious group. Now, here's the problem. Without higher education, your career prospects vanish. Critical thinking underdeveloped. And most importantly, the ability to question or leave the organization becomes more difficult. I've done a video on why Jehovah's Witnesses have a phobia of college degree. I'll leave a link at the end of this video for you to watch that one. What is the next rule of financial control? Demonization of material success. I've done a 2-part series entitled Why Jehovah's Witnesses Want You Poor. The Watchtower Society literature is littered with subtle messages. Avoid the rat race. Don't be consumed by career ambitions. That is also discussed in the March 2025 broadcasting, but also is discussed in Stephen Letty's talk entitled Beware of Materialism. And those two videos are based on the same.
Many of us need to work to support ourselves, but finding the type of work that allows us to serve Jehovah whole-souled may be challenging. Let's see how Bible principles influence the career decisions of 2 young publishers.
Why was it difficult to choose a career?
Most of my family have a university degree. Some are lawyers, engineers, accountants, and so on. So they expected me to go to university as well. They told me, "We don't have a doctor in the family yet. We think you should study medicine."
When I was 16, I was about to leave high school. Many of my schoolmates were planning to study at university and would say things like, "I want to go to this school. Which one are you going to?" I felt a lot of pressure to get a higher education. My teachers told me that I needed to continue my studies if I really wanted to make money.
I wanted to be a teacher, but there was so much pressure from my family to study something that would allow me to have a higher salary.
There were times when I felt overwhelmed because of the pressure. Even after I graduated from high school, a teacher contacted me to make sure that I was planning to go to university and, in his words, actually become someone in this world.
I started a 6-year psychology degree at university. And at the same time, I was studying for a teacher certificate on the weekends. And on top of all of that, I was working part-time. I was trying to do everything.
What helped you make a good decision?
I spoke with my mom about what I should do. She helped me to think about some of the dangers I would be exposed to at university, things that could endanger me in a spiritual sense.
After about 2 years, it became clear that I couldn't continue with such a busy routine. I needed to make a change. I remembered some advice I got from a friend. He had studied to become an accountant when he was young, but now he sells chilies. He jokingly said, "So now I'm counting chilies, so I guess you could say that it is what I studied."
That is also discussed in Stephen Letty's talk entitled Beware of Materialism.
Well, numerous other experiences could be related that illustrate the power of materialism. In fact, it may well be that Satan's most effective trap against Jehovah's people in these last days is materialism. But now you might be thinking, well, isn't sexual immorality by far the number one cause for disfellowshipping? That's true. But we don't have figures for ones who fall away to materialism. They're not disfellowshipped. And furthermore, how many who succumb to sexual immorality were first weakened spiritually by materialism? Well, at least we can say that materialism is one of Satan's most effective tools or traps against Jehovah's people today.
Now, on the surface, this appears to be very spiritual. After all, there are examples in the Bible, warnings about the love of money. Jesus even said, beware of covetousness. Paul even told Timothy of some in wanting to be rich, they've wrecked their faith. But in practice, it keeps members in low-paying jobs, no savings or safety nets. Meanwhile, the organization itself owns billions in properties and investments.
Because just down the road is the world headquarters of the Jehovah's Witnesses. They call it Bethel, the house of God, sprawling over 250 acres. 800 people live and work here, including the group's legal advisors, support staff, and the governing body. 8 men who establish and supervise Jehovah's Witnesses doctrine.
There is a claim that their Warwick headquarters cost $100 million to construct. There is also information online showing that the Brooklyn headquarters was sold for over $2 billion, bringing all the properties around $2 billion. It is alleged they own massive farms, printing facilities, real estate worldwide. The message is clear. Poverty is virtuous for you, but not for us. Finally, we come to the exhaustion factor. The average Jehovah's Witnesses spends 15 to 20 hours per week on religious activities, meetings, personal preaching, personal study, family study, midweek services, conventions, and volunteer work. Add a full-time job and family responsibilities, and you have a recipe for burnout. This isn't accidental. Exhausted people don't question. They don't research. They have no time for all that. They have no energy to consider alternatives. They simply obey. We've been talking with my family as to why when you meet Jehovah's Witnesses, there's just like they've been covered by a blanket. There's just this appearance of being absorbed, being lost in thoughts, really not being happy. And I've just realized they are exhausted. They are stressed to the maximum. Because in the Jehovah's Witnesses world, being spiritual means attending each of these meetings. If you're not getting involved in these spiritual activities, you are considered as spiritually weak. Hence, you risk not surviving Armageddon.
I knew that if I studied at university, I would be losing valuable time during my youth. Time that I could be using for Jehovah.
Sometimes we have many different options in front of us, or we know that we need to adjust our course. That's when looking to Bible principles can help us to choose the right path.
My father has a barbershop, and he offered to teach me how to be a barber. My parents told me, people will always need a haircut. So even though I knew I wouldn't be making millions as a barber, it was work that would always be in demand.
I decided to leave university halfway through my degree and look for part-time teaching work. During that time, I prayed so much, asking Jehovah to bless my decision.
What benefits have come from your decisions?
I'm my own boss. I work in a barber shop and also travel to people's homes and give them haircuts. I have the freedom to decide the days and hours that I work.
Jehovah answered my prayers. I was able to find part-time work teaching at a school, which allows me to be in full-time service, along with my husband.
Because of the flexibility I have with my work, I enjoy opportunities to participate in construction projects for the organization. I've seen clearly that by focusing on what's most important, Jehovah has blessed me.
I continue to see the fulfillment of Matthew 6:33 in my life. Jehovah has always provided what I needed.
But the most insidious control tactics aren't financial, they are emotional. In the next video, we consider how the Watchtower Society uses guilt, shame, and threat of losing every member of your family to keep you in line. If you are enjoying this video, kindly like, subscribe, and smash the notice bell so that when I upload the next episode, you'll receive a notification and you'll not miss a single episode. If you have any questions, you are seeking clarifications, you don't agree with what I've said, kindly put them in the comments below. If you don't agree with me, also put that in the comments below. Let's start the conversation. If you did not watch part 1 of this video, click on this link. To watch part 2 of this video, click on this link. To watch the video on how the Jehovah's Witnesses have silently acknowledged that Jehovah is not God's divine name, click on this link. To watch why Jehovah's Witnesses have a phobia of college degree, click on this link.